Now we're going to look at work orders. A work order is simply a form that allows you to spell out the labor tasks, parts, and chemicals necessary to complete a job. And the job really begins with a request from the customer. Something needs to be done. So they submit a service request to you asking for some service. Now, the service request can also be generated by your pool tech while he's out in the field. If he sees something needs to be repaired, he can discuss it with the customer, and if the customer agrees that it should be repaired, the pool tech can submit the service request. So those service requests are kept under Task Manager. So go to Task Manager and click on Service Requests. And here we have our list of service requests. Let's look at the one from Susan. So we click on it, and here's the request. That's her address and all her contact information. And below you see the description, technician's notes, and status updates. Now, if you were just working this as a service, it's usually something small that doesn't require a work order, you would go ahead and fill this in here. However, we're going to be doing a work order, so for now we just read the description. It says there's a lot of water near the plumbing and it looks like there's a leak, so you know you have to do some kind of leak diagnosis and then do some repairs. So let's go back to the service requests, and now over in the right hand corner you will see the button work order. So go ahead and click work order, and now we're going to create the work order. To save time, I have prepared the work order, so we will just discuss the parts of it. Now, the first page shows you the project description, the requirements, and the crew instructions. The first thing you should do when you're starting a work order is click the description button, and that gives you access to those three fields. So you should put in a description of the project as you see it, the requirements that are necessary to make that happen, and any instructions that you have for your crew. You don't have to do this in any particular order. You can fill out the rest of the work order and then come back and fill these in, or you can do them up front if you know exactly what you want. Great. Go ahead and submit if you've made changes. I'm just going to cancel out of here. So the next thing we'll do is we'll add some labor tasks. To add a labor task, you click the labor task button. Here, since I already have labor tasks in here, it's brought up the last one that I added. So what I can do is I can, for example, put in something like add tiles, and let's say it's going to take 2 hours, and I'm going to choose one of my unskilled labor. Now this is just a guideline. You can actually change this on the fly. Let's say I say it's going to cost me $10 per hour, and I'm going to charge the customer $15 per hour. Once I click the submit button, you will see, scroll down, you'll see that it's now added a labor task, add tiles, 2 hours, $15 an hour, and it's the charge for that labor task is going to be $30. So now that we've added our labor task, we can click cancel, go back to the work order, and now we can add some parts. So I click on the parts button, and again it's going to bring me up the page, and if I've added parts you'll see them below, the ones that I've added. So now you can add some parts. Now the parts, you should have added parts to your inventory. Later on we're going to be linking this page to the inventory within vendors such as Pool Core and Hayward, and you'll be able to select parts from their inventories on this page. For right now, add the parts that you're going to be using to your inventory. Use the startup inventory if you do not wish to use the financial system. The startup inventory will not be charging you for parts. So We select a part number from, and I'm just selecting something just for example, and select 1, and you click the submit button, and it will add the part below. You see it here. Now you click the cancel button, and you can do the same thing now for chemicals. You can add your chemicals. When you're done, you can click the estimate button and see what an estimate would consist of for the customer. And it's not going to look like this, but these are the items that will appear on the estimate. Now, when you click print, what it's going to do is to show you the actual estimate that the customer will see. So you click the print button, and there's what the estimate will look like for the customer. Okay? So then you can print this estimate and mail it to the customer, or you can save the estimate and email it to the customer. It's your choice. Anyway, I'm going to go back. Now I go back to my service request. And that's all there is to creating the work order. At this point, your work order is in the system, and now, since it's there, you can actually schedule it. To schedule it, you simply click the schedule button and select the start date and put in the start time and whatever finish time, and click the submit button. That's it. Now it is scheduled, and it will appear on the Pooltex menu, his route sheet, and he can do the necessary steps. Now, one of the things that you should know is that when the pool tech is out in the field and he is looking at his route sheet, here's the service request that we added the work order for. When he clicks on log tasks, you will notice that the work order comes up where a normal cleaning job task would be listed. The labor task for the work order will appear, so he can do the particular steps and check them off as he completes them, and then continue with the rest of his tasks. Once he clicks submit and all the labor tasks are done, the work order will be closed, and those charges will be released so they can be added to the next invoice that goes out to the customer. Now, just a quick note here, even though the charges are released, the customer will not be billed until the next time they're scheduled to be billed. At that time, those charges that are on this work order and any other charges that have been compiled will be added to that invoice. And that's it. That's all there is to creating a work order and billing the customer.